We need to demystify the industry. So an industry that is considered in power, doesn't excite people. So at some level, we need to rebrand and improve how people understand what we do, And that's not just Schneider, but across a number of different places in the sector in general, right? And that's part of us as leaders being out there in schools, in universities, we're becoming STEM ambassadors. I think that's a great initiative, Become a STEM ambassador, get involved locally, get out there, even on the weekend, if you're talking to anyone, an opportunity to demystify STEM. Make it less nerdy and make it more glamorous and interesting, because actually, guess what? It is, So that's one. I think the other things we need to be able to do is we need, obviously, with our policies, I mentioned the job descriptions, they all sound small, but they're actually quite significant. If you want to address a diverse group in order to come work with you and for you, then you need to make sure that everything you're doing in terms of how you position yourself externally represents a diverse view. And I don't think we always do that. So every time someone thinks Schneider, we want them to think diversity and inclusion. And we are starting to work on this. We have some more work to do, obviously. We need absolutely to make sure that we see more role models. So one of the things, there's a lot of discussion about quotas. Should you have quotas? Should you have targets? What does that mean? Well, look, we have targets for everything in our lives. We have targets for the financial budget at home. We have targets for, how quickly I want to be able to finish my PhD. We have targets for, I want to be a CEO in 20 years. Whatever the targets are, we have targets for sales, for employee engagement, for customer sat. Why shouldn't we have a target for diversity and inclusion? So I actually think that that's another way that we can make a leapfrog, and I see that happening in the case of women on boards. It's working, and it's making a difference. I'm part of a board now, and I can tell you we have 50% women, 50% men on that board. And it's a fantastic conversation in the room because you just bring different perspectives, right? And then I think we need to start addressing things like unconscious bias training. I love he for she. I think it's a super initiative. The other thing I think is the leaky pipeline. So we can get a huge amount of women through the door. We can get the recruitment going. We can get the excitement going on brand. We can go to universities. And then what? They come in. The policies maybe don't align. So then they leave. They don't come back. Or we can help and encourage women through our pipeline, which means at every stage of the promotion cycle, we are absolutely insisting that women are part and parcel of the candidates that are being reviewed. We're taking risks, not always looking for the perfect CV, because there is no such thing as a perfect CV. And actually, we as leaders are constantly reviewing that talent pool and making sure that that talent pool is getting the opportunities. And we need to we need to walk the talk. And I can tell you today with Schneider, there are many, many more zone presidents who are women in P&L roles, which make a huge difference. What I've done with my management team, I've said, look, at the very minimum, you need to add a +1 on your management team so that you can reflect a more diverse team. And actually, we're all working on that, which is great. I've just hired, by the way, a lady called Amelia Murphy, who you should interview someday, who is now going to head our Zone Execution Center. And that is a very big P&L responsibility for the organization.